Good morning and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One, and today we're going to bring back Deborah Ishki Uklahumma. And she's going to update us and tell us what to look for in these rituals that we are bombarded with. She's going to explain what rituals are, how we participate in them, how we make the rituals that are set against us, how our energy is used to spur on that demise. If you all remember Dr. Bobby Wright said, menticide, kill the mind, and you kill the people. And so that's what a lot of rituals that we involve ourselves into every day. This is the kind of stuff that we're into. And we make sure that whatever happens to us, we're part of the blame. And it's like I was talking to Deborah earlier, you know, we're going to have to get out of this. I didn't know, nobody told me, because what I see us still in TVs. For what? I don't know. It's cool. We still breaking in and we don't learn. And that's what the rituals are about. We don't learn and we don't do better. And then we don't teach our children better. Before we get to Deborah, I just want to say later on in the week, I'm going to have a guest on. And y'all ain't going to believe this. This brother's from Arkansas and his name is Spaceman. And this brother took his daughter's big wheel and built a helicopter with it that flies in the air. This is the kind of genius we have amongst us, and we ignore it. And we keep finding ourselves in these same old bullshit positions that makes us look stupid. Really, come on, y'all. So I'm gonna shut up. Check out what this sister says about rituals, y'all. Check out how our lives are being controlled by other people's words, other people's thoughts, what other people put out. And check out how we jump on it and make it live against ourselves. Deborah, thank you for joining African Americans Ain't Africans.
You're welcome. I love being here. Thank you.
Why do we keep repeating ourselves?
Believe it or not, that is also part of the ritual. The whole point is to make us do the same thing over and over again. But they're telling us that we will get different results. For example, one of the things this is how I came out of religion, because I tithed, expecting a harvest in my, I know, don't laugh. I was that stupid. Stop, don't make me laugh. I'm sorry.
No, I just say that because I got the church thing when I was young. It was just stupid.
But you know what? I didn't know. Listen to the story. I tithed. I ran around the church like everybody else. I fell out on the spoken fucking tongue.
What is that?
Agreed. Shit didn't change. Even though I forced myself to believe that my life was changing. That's a ritual right there. Getting up every morning, every Sunday, putting on your Sunday best, they prescribe that for you. Driving to that church to listen to a man tell you about your spiritual world. And there's a ghost who's holy enough, and holy only means to be set apart from all other ghosts, who's holy enough to fix your shit. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to. Fix your life for you. And so what people do is, because they're told, if you tithe, I will take your troubles to this ghost and to the son of this ghost so that you can get your problems fixed. I did that. And one time I got tired of that ritual. And I got tired of doing it over and over and over again. I was still, and I went. I had a Mercedes house in Rosedale Park, was doing well. My children have been in private schools. It's not like I was that type of poor, but I got sick of it, and I went to whatever I thought, whatever it was, and I cursed it out. I told God and Jesus, y'all's a fucking bunch of no-shows. Now, I was scared to do that. No, I'm serious though. I did. I said, and I expected to be punished at that moment because I was taught that if you curse God, you're going to be punished. So that's what I was expecting. I said, hey, this is a good way to end this. Curse God. I called them a bunch of fucking no-shows. And you know what happened? Not a goddamn thing. Nothing. Then I told them, if you don't show up in my life, I'm done with you. He didn't show up. Guess what? I was done. And I asked, I said, whatever is real out there, please talk to me because I'm lost. It's not about money. It's not about Mercedes and putting your kids in private school. So something is seriously wrong. My inner being knew something was seriously wrong, that I could tap dance my way into something that never, ever. I put my dollar in that Coke machine. I never got a Coca-Cola. Never. And then one day I went to go pick up my daughter. I had totally forgot. I had asked this entity to tell me the truth. I'm sitting in the car, and all of a sudden, this entity spoke to me as if it was sitting next to me in my car, and it said, Deborah, why do you keep planting in somebody else's garden expecting a harvest in yours? Do you know that answer? That answer gave me, it answered every freaking question I ever had in life. Because you know what it told me? There's no freaking supernatural.
So what would you say that voice is? Because that's what I mean. There's something in us we know between right and wrong, and we know it.
Yeah.
We know.
We know what it is.
I was talking to a guy, and he said he was being robbed one day by 3 young brothers. And he said, brothers, I'm on a cane. And he said, one of the dudes said, man, fuck that shit. There's nothing there's nothing in you that says this is wrong, or there's nothing in this that says, hey, you know what? I've been doing the wrong thing. I made a mistake. Let me change. I don't want my children to have to go through this again. I don't want my children to have to repeat the same ugly things in life that I saw. What is it? What was that voice? Or I don't. You can call it a voice because I know what you mean, and all of us know what you mean.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what happened to me. I had been hearing this voice all my life, but it never scared me, so I never really thought about it. And then I thought, this is intuition. This is that. Until one day, this voice came into my room and physically spoke to me. I know this is going to sound really deep or it's going to sound really off, but this is how close we are to, this is what we don't know about ourselves that everyone else knows. Our enemy knows there are entities in dimensions that will come to you. That's why the shadow government uses fear to keep an entity of shadows constantly over you. That's another ritual. But I did a different ritual that I didn't even know I was entering into. I was walking away from all the otherworldly entities. And I asked the planetary or the universal entity to speak to me. I didn't realize that is what I was doing. And that entity lived with me for 3.5 years. It taught me the Bible was really a lesson from our people. It was a warning. It taught me who the people were who wrote, who changed it and why. It taught me who I was. It taught me about the universe. It taught me, this being taught me so much. Every morning, this being would wake me up at 3 a.m. I literally felt like something was plugging into the back of my head. I was taught the Bible in less than 10 minutes. 10. And it told me, we're going to use you. You're going to speak to your people. And you're going to tell them the truth. And for 3.5 years, this entity taught me who we are. So people will say, well, you know, we got all kinds of books that tell us what we are. But you know what? The universe will tell you who you are. And the universe will send an entity to tell you who you are. You don't need, like you said, that guy, we don't need their books. We don't.
Yeah, I think we're not experiencing life how we're supposed to live it. We're living in somebody else's cage. They don't, everything that they say, we do. And believe me, we try to do it better than them themselves. There's no ingenuity. There's no ideas. The relationship between males and females is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the impetus to start life. And we're just tearing each other down. And it's like, I know everybody knows better.
But see, that's the ritual that we enter into. This, like we talked earlier, we're in the rituals of the world. This world was constructed for us to enter into outside of our planet and the universe. It was constructed for us to live in death constantly. Why? Because first of all, we don't die. But we operate in death.
Yeah.
No, okay, see, I didn't mean to go this far.
No. It's not far at all. I mean, it's not far at all because, I mean, I've heard that energy, and I know this is something that we don't ever get into. We don't talk about it. And that alludes to the point that you're saying we're kept in this death mindset. So energy can never be created nor destroyed. It just is.
It just is.
And that's what we are. So,
and in that energy is consciousness. And so we consciously, see, people say, oh, that's my subconscious. No, Negro. You consciously are saying, kill me over and over and over again. Because we always return.
Let me see if this is it. Say, you know, one of the things now with this ritual that's going on now is the constant use of the word black. So when you look up the definition of black, we get some kind of emotional bind to words and phrases and ideas when they really don't mean nothing. This shirt that I have on, or this hat, is black. That's black. And we call ourselves that. I mean, and we, black people, black power. And black means nothing. So is that part of the ritual that we fuel ourselves? We keep playing into these games and it doesn't do us, and it ends us right back up here 5-10 years later.
Yeah, we're not fueling ourselves. We're draining ourselves. We're fueling our enemy. Because when the bottom line to what the word black means, when you look at it, it's associated with blonde. And a blonde is one who is deficient in color. A black is one who is, and this is what it boils down to, blotted out. You are literally calling yourself to be blotted out of your own planet. Listen to the conversations. I'm black and I'm proud. I'm blotted out and I'm proud of it. That's really what you're saying.
And we have and this is what I want to talk about. The energy that we put behind that nonsense. I mean, we really we really put some stuff behind it. What does that do to the ritual? How does that add to the ritual?
Okay, I'm gonna bring this up. My computer's a little slow, but a ritual is a performance. You know, it performs. It has words and cycles. Okay, like I have in here my talking points. We live in a world of ritual. What is a ritual? It is a ceremony consisting of a series of actions. See, that's really natural for us. Let's look at Marco Polo, who was a Jew. He talks about the original people's ceremony. They did rituals. What did they do? They moved, they performed, they danced, they sang. And he said he never saw anything like it. They actually controlled the elements. See, our enemy knows that's who we are naturally. So what do? They give us a performance and ritual of singing their shit, dancing their shit, performing their shit to keep their shit going. Not ours. What are we singing? Bitch. Okay, you just ritualized your own womb that brought you into the world, and the woman that you poking down to a dog. You're saying she's giving birth to a litter. You're saying it. See, because they can't curse us. Only we can do that. Spoken word coming out your own mouth. I'm gonna fuck up that nigga. Let me tell you something that happened with that entity with me. This is a little personal, I'm gonna tell you. Because this entity taught me a lot living with me. I wanted to be involved with a man sexually. I hope this is okay for me to talk about. I ain't gonna get the graphic.
We want the porn details.
But it was this entity's purpose was to teach me my own bullshit. So when we talk on the phone, I would pretend like I don't really want to do it. You know, playing like this. And so this went on for 2 weeks. I was laying there on my bed and I said, oh man, I don't really want to have sex with this guy. My entity said, you already did it. I had worked that shit so well in the universe, me and him ended up like together for 2 years. That's how powerful our word is. I brought him into my world. I know that seems, I'm not trying to be vulgar. I'm really not. But that's how powerful our word is. I talked that man into my world until I got what I wanted. Do you see that they are telling you to talk themselves into our planet until they get what they want? It's the same thing.
I see it. I see it. And I'm wondering, how don't we see this every day? Here's an example. I have a neighbor. She's a cool sister. Just unfortunate life. And it started when she was a baby. And now she's at a point of her, she's been wanting to die for a long time. And she's
wow.
And she's doing it slowly with the alcohol and the drugs and stuff. And so, and everybody is always, you poor baby, let me hug you. I don't do that. I'd be like, get your ass up, go take a walk, take a bath, wash it, come on, try to live. So she's all into this church thing, like you're saying. Jesus this, Jesus that. And so I asked her, so where is Jesus? This is a cat, like you said, you gave money to religiously every week. You know them envelopes they give you?
Yep.
I know my mom's fill it up weekly. And weekly, and all the prayers and all the Jesus, that when you say those words go up, you know, in a ritual, because that church shit is a ritual.
It is.
How does that manifest itself back down to us?
Okay, I'm going to add a little more to that, because one of the things I want to talk about on here is we got, every time our people get into trouble, we get these Facebook livers. They want to come on and tell you what you already know. Like this one girl, she came on, look, young girl, all arrogant. And this is what I'm going to tell you. This is going to be a long one. This is going to be a long one. I'm going to tell you what's going on. I'm saying to myself, nigga, you don't think we know what's going on? Shit, we know. For the past few years, they've been, hundreds of years, they've been killing us off like pigs to be slaughtered. So she said, I call her gloom and doom mystic. She told us about the polar shift. There's going to be a polar shift. And when that happens, everything's going to shift. And you're going to find that all those people who did this to you, I said, wait a minute. No, she ain't really telling us nothing we don't know. We already know there's a polar shift coming. You don't believe, you typing in your polar shift. When is it coming? What to expect? Okay, you didn't give us any real information. Then she gave us Trump's predicted demise. And you can see this in the cartoon. Okay, no more information we don't know. And then she says, this is what you need to do. I said, oh, she's going to give us a recipe to help us fix this shit we in. She said, you need to do some shadow work. That's when I knew, oh, this chick don't know what she's talking about. Because when you start talking about shadow work, you're dealing with the European. You're dealing with, well, not necessarily the European, but you're dealing with people who cannot move without fear. They cast fear on us all day and all night long. The shadow was in the fourth dimension. And she said, get yourself a black candle, because black represents evil. So the first thing I think, okay, so you're already telling them black represents evil. Light that candle and look in the mirror. And when you look in the mirror, you're going to ask the spirits to tell you how to find that, and I'm paraphrasing her, that evil part of you, so you can cast it out. And I thought, this little girl is troublesome. Look, she can trying to get our people to get into a ritual that's going to make things worse. Because first of all, you just told them to get a black candle. You blotted them out again. The second thing you did was tell them to do, well, the first thing was shadow work. That's the fourth dimension. That is where fear lives. That's why the shadow government works in that dimension. I think I talked about that the last show. The next thing she told them is this: you cast out the evil that's in you. And she brought in spirits. We don't understand that the universe is a society, just like here on this planet. So here's the answer to your question. When we go to our universe and the society, first of all, that was built for us, and we misappropriate or request something that we don't understand, we're going to get exactly what we asked for. We don't know the spirit world. We've lost all contact and knowledge of the spirit world. And we think we do, and we go, oh, girl, you so spiritual. Oh, girl, that spirit in me. Oh, I got a spirit in me. Nigga, you got a liver and a kidney. You ain't got no spirit in you. You got a heart, some guts, not a spirit. If there's a spirit living in you, you need to get the fuck rid of it, because it's going to take you down, because it's not supposed to be living in you. You are not the realm that a spirit should be living in. They got a place to live. oh, that was just too easy, wasn't it? Wow, that made so much sense.
I mean, and that's why Stevie Wonder say, when you believe in things you don't understand, your ass suffer.
You suffer, and that's why we suffering. Because they have given us all these rituals to talk about the spirits. We've lost all contact. The universe is trying to tell us. Like one of the things we talked about last year was Chiron. Chiron is a star. And that star circles the universe. And what it does, when it comes back around, it disambiguates. Everything in that universe is a society of beings that work on our behalf. They know that. Your enemy knows that. And that star begins to tell you things. And she talked about that. Oh, right, people gonna start waking up. I'm saying to myself, yeah, we've been waking up. We've been waking up. Now, some of us are still sleepwalking, but we woke. And that star is a what does that mean? It removes all ambiguity, all doubt. You begin to comprehend what is going on in your life, where you are, who you are, and what you are here for.
Sorry, I'm back.
That's
no.
okay.
The part because one of the things I talk about and what's happening, and it's like what you see in this whole coronavirus, all this rioting and stuff, and it's just confusion. And what I asked the average person, I said, in your lifetime, how many times have you seen this ritual? I mean, it's like, damn. I mean, aren't you tired of seeing the same old thing? And it's like the point, we don't care. We like seeing it. I mean, we doing the same. I mean, you're looking at a riot in 1990. You've seen the same riot in 1968.
Yeah.
The exact same thing. What is that?
They're inciting us to riot. See, we're thinking we're going to rise up and riot. Oh, no. That wasn't your idea. You don't live in a world of your ideas.
Right.
The planet is the place for your ideas. And there's a difference between the world and the planet. And we talked about that earlier.
Right.
A world is constructed by those who live on the planet. When you talk about an ant, he lives in a world that was constructed for him to operate on this planet.
Right.
The bee lives in a world that was constructed for him to live on this planet. We were supposed to build a world, and we live in somebody else's world and construct it. We're supposed to be living in a world that we constructed to live on this planet. And at one time we did, until we said, hey, I think I like boxed foods. Hey, I think I like the white woman in the way she does things. See, because here's where women don't like me. Because woman, you brought this shit in. When you said to your man, I know people disagree with me, I want what she got. So now that you're getting screwed in the ass like her and aborting your children like her and beat the shit out of like her, because her man don't respect her. She always complaining about how he treats her. And now you in that position, you thinking, why they treat us like that? Because you said, please treat me like the white woman. That's just too simple to really understand, ain't it?
What was that? Well, when Bernie Mac said when he was in class, he was acting a fool, and then he saw his mother come, and he started to act like he was real smart, start counting like he was trying to learn. That's what I'm saying. This shit is simple.
It's simple.
It's simple, and we never get it. And what is that? That's I I've given up even trying to pay attention or trying to understand it, because the way you explained it is not the way I look at it. I look at it as a way, why would you treat somebody the way you wouldn't want somebody to treat your mother or your sister or your daughter or your aunt or the next door neighbor that's cool to you? Why would you treat and this is on the male part of you, because you have brothers that talk about sisters, and I'm like, dude, that's how you really think about women?
Yeah, that is exactly how they think about women. I'm going to tell you why. Because first of all, they've gone into this world of women. I'm not a woman.
You're not a woman.
If you have someone that looks like me, she ain't a woman either. Now let me explain that. Adam and Eve was the very first virus on this planet. In this millennium, Adam was a male figure. I know people will say, yeah, but the Bible says, blah, blah, blah. And Mr. Uka Uka from Africa says, now I'm going to tell you what the entity told me. You can disagree, but I'm just going to tell you. Adam was a male entity. He was created by a God. Okay. I don't know who that God is. I ain't going to lie to you. I don't know.
Lord God.
Huh?
Lord God.
No. There's two differences. There's a God that created him, and then Adam and his offspring are the Lord God, because they own us now. And we go to them for everything. Can I have water? Sure, I put it in the bottle. Can I have a shit? Yep, I gave you a broken cistern. I need a place to pee. There you go. I need some place to educate my child. I'm going to give you this broken school. No, he's the Lord God. When you say the Lord thy God, that's totally then the God different from the God that created them. That entity taught me quite a bit. We don't know that every time we talk to the Lord thy God, or we go to this government, which is the Lord thy God, please stop killing us, but that's our whole purpose. Why would we do that? That's what Adam and Eve were sent here to do. Those people that say they were already here when Adam got there, they knew that this was a virus. And they said, well, and the son said, well, what if, if you send me out there, they're going to kill me because I have a mark on me. We ain't never asked what that mark is. You know what that mark on his forehead was? Lack of melanin. He didn't have a fat nose, full lips. He didn't look like them. And they had sense enough to know, you got an enemy? Shoot it. Kill it. Or it will fester in your life. And what are we looking at? The infestation of viruses.
Y'all hear that? One of the things that I notice here in America is with the Negroes in America, and I realize a lot of us have died off, and now people from other places are coming in, sitting amongst us. And that's something that we let happen by trying to love everybody and playing that we are the world shit. How bad has that devastated us?
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go back to that. Let me finish the answering the question about we're not women. I forgot that's where I was going for a second. Adam's woman came from his rib or a cell. When you look at the word creation in Creole, you'll see it's a manufactured entity by something higher than them. So what is Eve? Eve is a man with an implanted womb. And and I'm going to tell you about this. Those implanted wombs need in vitro fertilization because they're not a natural womb. There's an article out right now about Obama's wife. And she confesses that her children came from in vitro fertilization. Why? Because she's a man with a womb. Oops, I know Democrats gonna be mad at me for that one.
Democrats can blow. Hit it.
But if you know your shit, if you know, and that's what I'm here for, people know your shit, so that when people come to you talking shit, you can say they talking shit. Move on. They purposely put Obama and his womb-bearing man in office to keep you in their ritual.
Oh, and when that cat won for president, I see Negroes now that I knew back then. See, they try to lie and say they wasn't into it because I mean the night I couldn't believe it. I was in LA at the time, and we have a street in LA called Crenshaw Boulevard.
Yeah.
One of the streets where all the Negroes hang out with. They had a Negro doing backflips from Figueroa down to King Boulevard. I'm sorry. Slauson down to King Boulevard. Backflipping because Obama won. One dude told me, he said, man, this is like the return of Jesus.
He didn't lie.
No, but I'm like, and I'm like, how did this dude come on the scene and Negroes just went crazy? And I ain't trying to hear that stuff. Oh, we just the first day we had to learn from 10. And we just fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
We did.
How can we be so dumb? I mean, and this is all the time. It's like we don't try to look into things. We don't try to figure things out. What is that?
I think it's because we haven't gotten tired. See, like when I went to God and Jesus and told them to fuck it, I was tired. I think that's what's wrong with our people. We haven't really gotten tired. We still like being screwed in the butt. We think this is how we're gonna get a man. So we constantly in the ritual. Okay, well, it works for white women. How do we know? Because our men are turning to white women. But that's your fault. Because you turned to her first. That was the ritual. That was the beginning of that performance. We don't understand that we are in a performance. That's why we keep doing it over and over and over again. We're in a performance. Everything they hand us is a performance that benefits them, not you. What you gonna get out of that? You ain't gonna get no children out of it. That sperm going up in your butt ain't gonna give you no children. A man who pulls out of you and puts it on your chest for fun and throw it on the pillow and all that ain't gonna get you no children. Your purpose, you Negro, you negated your own purpose on your own planet. I done got mad. At y'all. Because you think it's about fun. Oh, I really pleased my man. You ain't pleasing the planet. Even a seed, when it falls to the ground, it goes back into the ground to give life. See, you don't even see your own rituals ain't about life. They ain't about life. They're death rituals. Here's a death ritual I told you about the other day. Funerals. Because remember, we don't die. And I said this to you. A funeral is a death ritual. What do they have you do? Go buy a box. Put that body in it. Then y'all cry over it. It's another altar. You just set up another altar. They have you to bring plants because you need plants. That's the flowers. Candles, all in the church. And then you speak over it. I'll never see him again. Well, you claimed it. Oh, my poor baby. Oh, God. You called him. And then you fall out on the floor and people pick you up and you drag you to the place where you bury the seed of the world in a box. Think about that. Let's say say you want to grow a tomato in the ground. Are you going to put it in a box and put it in the ground? Because before that box deteriorates, it's going to take a whole lot of years for that seed to grow. You seeds. You brought, the people are asking, what do you mean? We came through the soil. We came through the mounds. We're the same as every other original thing on this planet that came through the ground. And they know that. They know you seeds. Your dumb ass don't know you seeds. You do now. You can't say that Deborah Ishki Uklahumma didn't tell you. That's your seeds. And that every time someone comes out of their body, you stick them in the ground in a box that takes what? Many of them you can, like for instance, I said when I get a chance, I'm going to get my mother out of her box. Let me tell you why. Because there are entities in the shadows that you'll say, I saw my mother. I saw my dead son. They're living out of the image of that entity that is not deteriorating. Wait, that sounds simple too, don't it?
Explain that. I get what you're saying, but see, a lot of stuff I heard in another way, and I'm hearing it the way you say it. I'm like, oh, because I just want to make it easy.
I just want to make it easy.
Yes.
That's right. It should be easy to understand.
Right. So can you explain that again?
A lot of times we'll see entities that look like our deceased relatives or friends. And people say, I saw my cousin floating. I saw this person, and I know they're in heaven looking down on us. No, they're not. You buried their image in a box, and the shadows are in that image that you didn't bury properly. And they're moving around in that image of your person because that's how they receive life. So, well, they don't receive life, but that's how they receive, I guess, a physical appearance. I'll say it like that. Does that help?
It's simple. That's what I'm saying. Just give it to me plain and simple. Don't give me all these big words, which you don't know the meaning of, but you're talking to me. Just give it to me simple. And that makes sense. And that's something that we all see. See, you're saying something. Okay, here's my question. So what you just explained, we all see this. There's things that I think, being a human on this planet, you have to know. It comes with breathing. You got to know it. It's not something that you learn. It's just something that inherited. Us seeing things how they are we that deluded, or are we just scared to make a change and do something different?
No, that's the purpose of giving us a church, because the church gives us all our answers. The church answers all Negro questions, Black people's questions, African American questions. We want to know. When we want to know something, we give that preacher $10 and then we expect him to answer that shit. Why are we seeing these ghosts? Oh, that's an evil spirit. Now, this and that, and you need to run away from that, and so on, so on, so on. Or another one will say, that's because that your loved one is letting you know that they're all right. And they've come to speak to you, and they've come to tell you and guide you. See, some of that shit is true, because that's exactly what those entities are doing. They're coming to guide you right into that ritual that you shouldn't be in.
But I'm saying, how can we not decipher that? How can we not know that? How do we fall in this continuously over and over?
Because there's something in the Bible that says faith comes by hearing. Then it says by hearing from the word of God. Think about that for a minute. What is faith? You begin to believe something and trust in something, and you hear it. If you hear something over and over and over again, if your ritual is to go to church on Sunday and hear the same shit over and over and over again, it becomes your reality. So faith comes by hearing it over and over and over again, that Jesus is your Savior. God is your God. And that ghost is going to fix your shit. So we operate on what we hear over and over and over again. And it becomes a ritual of performance. So when they tell you that there's a heaven and that you go to heaven when you die, and you see that entity, that just strengthens what you've heard over and over and over again. You are really leaving your own world that you had constructed before this enemy came on your planet. Now you living in there over and over and over again. There's a movie. These movies allude to a lot of what's going on this planet. There's a movie where this guy would die. Every time he would die, he would come back. And he started noticing. See, unlike us who don't notice, he started noticing. I think I did this before. He died again and he came back. He said, I think I did. Eventually, he started seeking something different than what he was doing to find out how this was happening. Now, eventually, he found out that he was in a world of mimickers. Oh, wait. A world of mimickers. Like us.
You didn't have to say that. I knew.
Okay. Who found somebody else who knew it. And together, they came together to come out of that cycle of dying and coming back to the same old shit over and over and over again. Do you see that is where we are?
Yeah. I see it. I see it with family members. I see it with family members on both the positive and the negative side. I see it on family members who they see it how you do, and they live it like that. They know. And then I have, other family members that are just into the regular thing that everybody's else to, Jesus. Then that's all they know. They don't want to know. Because if I have family members, if they heard you speak, you know what they would say? How do you know that? Well, how do you know what you know? You studied it. You studied CSNBC. All the information you get is from everything.
Yep.
Nothing is never there. They don't put themselves into it. They get it. They get their ideas and everything from somebody else, and then they do it. That's the ritual too, huh?
Yeah, it is. Because my brother asked me one time, because when I came out of religion, and especially Christianity, it was difficult. I'm not gonna tell nobody all I did was step out of it. It was difficult because I had entities walking into my dreams just like I was awake. I had all kinds of shit happening to me that I just didn't understand. You know why? Because I didn't realize that I had entered into the shadow government's world. I didn't know that back then. Because they don't want you to leave. Because they live in you, in your eye, in what, they've groomed you to live through what you do to keep them alive. So they're going to fight you in this shadow world.
Explain that.
That was a little difficult for me to explain, but I'll just tell you what I went through because, these entities started to speak to me, just like the entity that was speaking to me before. They live in different dimensions, you see. When you're in religion, you're in the fourth dimension. They tell you you're in 3D, but you're really into a fourth dimension where shadows exist. And the government exists in that. So constantly, they'll get you in the ritual of, I'm going to pray to the shadow god. And I'm going to get this. No, they going to get it. But then when you decide to come out of it, in order for them to continually live on this planet, they have to keep their rituals going so that their world can survive. So they fight you when you come out of religion. Really, it was difficult. And I didn't understand. I was crying. I was like, why can't I get out of this shit? My mind is constantly being bombarded with voices. And these voices would say to me, you need to pray. You need to go back to God. What are you doing? You guilt. Guilt is one of the main ones. If you turn away from God, blah, 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 blah. But I had to keep going. Want to know how I got out of it? I went to a different space in my head. And I was crying and I said, these voices are going to drive me crazy. And if I don't get out of them, I'm going to go back. Because it was hard to handle. Hard. You know what happened? That entity said, keep moving. Keep moving. You're almost out. And I kept moving. And I got stronger. And I got stronger. And I started to get my own mind back. And I started to start thinking for myself until I was still, see, here's what happened. When you're in this world, it's very difficult for you to hear from the universe because the universe it dictates to your interconnection to it. And that's what they want you to walk away from your interconnection. You can never not be interconnected, but you can live into their world and they make that interconnection work for them. When I got into that with that interconnection, the universe said to me, now do these rituals. Want to know what these rituals were? I denounced Jesus Christ. I turned from the blood of Christ. I'm no longer covered in a dead man's blood. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, the universe told me I was turned. I said, if I'm going to give some money, it's going to be to me. Oh, man, this ritual that I did went on for 2 weeks. 2 weeks to get out of that shit. Because I had to train my mind differently.
Okay. I got you. I'm with you 100%. Okay. So there's a lot of people who, when you say entities or spirits, they think you're talking about something else. But the universe send people, I mean, we call them artists. We call them people who do things that we can't do. So when you said that spirit told you, because I know what you're saying about that, you can be in the worst place and it'll say, it's cool. It's cool. Do artists, and this song came up in my head when you said it, because it's something that we all do. You're gonna work your way out of it. Just hang in, you'll be okay. Calm down, it's gonna be okay. Remember that song about 20 years ago called Keep on Moving, Don't Stop. Remember that song?
Yeah.
I mean, do we get messages like that when because I know it's so much confusion going on amongst us, and I wonder, is this why we're into the artists so much? Because they say stuff that we see too, but they're just reminding us that it's going to be okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there are artists, our artists from old days. Their music came more from a universal conversation. Like I said, we have to remember that the universe is a culture of beings that live like we do. They live, they think, they feel, and they have a mission like we do. And most of their missions is to constantly minister. Well, I hate the word minister. Teach us. Okay? Let me, I got something else I wrote here. This might help you or help us understand the universe. Let me get down why they're singing like they do. And I talk about, because you're talking about messages, there are few legitimate ones who are giving us messages. And how do we know them? Their message is always from that which is from the planet and the soil and the universe. Their message is always the same. Why? Because their message is always from the cosmic mother, the universe. Uni means It is consistent of one and regarded as a single entity. See, we're not a single entity in our minds. We're Negro, blacks, people of color, stupid, everything we could think of, bitch, hoe, faggot. There's a list. Somebody give me the list. How we gonna gather from that? How we gonna become one with that? We can't. We're splintered. We're splintered. People, we're splintered. Do you know what a splinter is? A bunch of splinters. That's why we always hurting each other. Bitch, ouch, why'd you call me that? Ho, why'd you call me that? Nigga, why'd you call me that? I'm gonna whip this bitch ass. Why you hurt me? Because we're splintered. I know I'm making it real simple. I know I am. So there ain't nobody on your show today gonna say, I didn't get it.
What she
saying?
What she mean?
It wasn't deep enough. I want deep shit. That's my fave. I want the deepness. Nigga, this is as deep as it need to get.
Hey, no, my audience is the Genius Squad. They get it. They get it.
Good. Okay, so here it says consisting of, hold on, wait a minute. In regard as a single entity, interconnection. Uni is an institution. Did you know that?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
it's an institution. What is an institution?
I'm never too old to learn. I'm learning every day. Every breath I take, I learn.
Listen, this gonna make sense. This gonna make sense though. Because you have to remember, we're dealing with mimickers. Everything they do and hand back to you is mimicking who you really are. Universe starts with uni. That means the universe is an institution where students study for degrees. Any of y'all went to the universe lately and said, please teach me, or are y'all still praying to a God for info? You still reading your master's books for info? Can you trust the universe? Can you put that crap down long enough to go to your very entity and say, what is it? I need to put all that down. I need to denounce all that. What are you saying? Because that's an institution that lives in a universe only for you. It's supposed to instruct you. It's supposed to answer you. It's supposed to give you what you ask for. It's supposed to feed you. It's supposed to everything. It got a sun just to energize you and give you it's a battery for you. Got a moon, it gives you your cycles. And everything is right there for you. So, but you keep saying, I'm going to go to this white man's universe and learn how to get in his corporation. What? I'm going to go to this white man's university and learn how to get in his corporation. Say that again. Now, let me see if I understand that. I'm going to go to the white man, my enemy's university, and learn how to get into his corporation because I need this job.
That's to me, that industry thing, we're in no industries.
No.
We got brothers that make cars. We're not into that. We want to go drive his Charger. I see, that's what I don't get about us. I mean, you're the inventor of the shoe lasting machine, but you go get shoes from other people.
Right.
And you would tear up your neighborhood to break in their stores to get those shoes. Huh? Oh.
So look, let me finish this. We're breaking up universe. It's a society, an organization. All these things they got right here for you, and it's right there in your universe. Your messages is going to, if you really want to know the truth, it's going to come from her verses. What is a verse? A literary device It denotes a single line rhythm construct. It's a structure with words, phrases, rhythm. It's music. There's the answer to your question. Now, you asked me about the music, and are they talking to us? Back then they were. Back then, they were talking the universe.
Yeah, I know they ain't talking about it now.
They listen to Mama Earth. They listening to the man that built the music business for them now.
Right.
So yes, they know that we operate off of moving and listen, because we're going to give an event next year. And I'm telling people in this event, it's called a Peace Pipe and Healing Summit. So yeah, we're going to have some smoke in there. But it's not to get high. I'm going to teach what the Peace Pipe is for when they come. But one of the things I'm instituting is that we get into our own ritual. What Fringe is for. Every time we take a step, we have energized this planet. Yeah, baby, their jury to judge you when you come out of their system. Their jury. You're right. You're right.
Miriam asks, how do we live free?
We do, because it's complicated. We're so deep into the rituals of death. One of the things that set me free, like I said, is I came out of that ritual of death with my words. First, I denounced it, I renounced it, I killed it, I got rid of it, I sent it back to its owner. All those words, which is part of the ritual we're going to do when we have this event. Once you have set your words separate from their world, you'll start working and walking and talking in your universe that was created or put here for you. Because when I tell you about that story, about how I turned and I went to God and Jesus and said, I'm sick of you and blah, 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 blah. The universe also told me, maybe you were walking in a world of contradiction. A world of contradiction.
Did you ever realize that yourself, that it was a contradiction of what you was living? Because I mean,
no, I'm being honest with you. A lot of what I learned, I was being taught from that entity that lived with me. I did not, and I was being taught before it lived with me. I really didn't. My mind had been so inundated with the world's bullshit. It was almost like my mind had to be wiped in order to understand what I was being told. That's why I'm saying they don't understand. They don't even know their mind has to be wiped. And that's why I was sent here. But it's difficult for me to say, I was sent to you, because then that sounds so religious, but it's not. The universe has entities that teach us to come to you and tell you, what, hey, you don't need to go to a doctor to have your mind wiped. You know what you went to. Tell yourself, the universe, and everything about you, I'm out. I'm out of that shit. I denounce it. I renounce it. I get rid of it. I send it back to where it comes from. I don't want it. I'm done with it. You know what you do. You know what you do. You know what you do. It ain't a secret to the universe. It's only a secret to me. But you know. You know. If you're a liar, and this is what one of my cousins said, I'm so glad I can't have Jesus. He ain't done with me yet. I know I'm still a liar and a cheat. Nigga, and you gonna keep being a liar and a cheat. Because Jesus ain't gonna save you from that. You gonna save you from that. Oh, that's how Christians think.
I know.
It's so simple though. That's why it's funny. Because it's simple. I know it sounds funny.
No, it doesn't, because, okay, so how much does the truth play into everything? Because like you say, we think it's cool to just lie. When we speak, we lie. I mean, we'll lie about anything. How much is telling the truth into, you know, what you say, into this universal idea that you're talking about?
Well, now, what do you mean by telling the truth? Tell me what you mean by that.
The truth. I mean, the truth. Because we lie to ourselves so much that we start becoming that lie. So how much?
Well, that's the point, though. We have become the lie. That's the point. And we also have to understand that people have learned to live their lives according to the lie. For example, I went to Jesus on the main line. Telling
Hey.
Stop it. But don't that tell you something right there?
So you know, Sunday is my comedy day. Because, man, these clowns, man, these church folks, I'm like, I don't know how one person walks into church and believe that shit. I don't.
Oh, and think about this. Think about this, you womb bearers. We brought our men in there too. Yes, you women. I'm telling you, our womb bearers, we got to take responsibility for our shit.
Don't be talking about me. You don't know me. You ain't my daddy. You don't tell me what to do. Nah, man, I hear you.
We was the one that said, because see, here's the thing. Wherever the womb goes, the fertilizer will follow. And they're the fertilizer. Because their thing is to fertilize everything we do. That's their job. That's what they were put here for.
We just
so when you tell your fertilizer, I want to plant some seed over there in church. And he said, I don't like the preacher because he ain't nothing but a thief and a liar. And all he wanted to do is screw all the women and the boys. And blah, 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 blah. You done told you better go to church or I'm not. And then you get like this. I ain't cooking. I ain't get. Because you know what? See, this is how we used to do. Me and another girl talked about the power that we had in our clans when we were Indians. When the men Indians would fight with each other about something, and the women got tired of it. You know what they did? They left camp. And the men realized, wait a minute, our food left, our sex left, everything left. We got to go get our women. And the women said, y'all gonna wrap this up now so we can continue to move. And that's what you do to your man. That's what you do to your man. He has told you he didn't want to go up in there with that liar. You said, I won't cook. I won't have sex with you. I won't do all that stuff with you. And you get belligerent until he shows up in the place where he got to give his money to a nigga that don't mean you no good. Oops, woman, don't hate me for the truth. Try not to do it. I'm just, look, you know what? I'm just the messenger. Don't kill the messenger.
Women
don't like me for the truth.
You talking about Pastor?
Yeah. We got to help Pastor get a Mercedes. And her husband going, nigga, we got a Ford. Or some of them saying, we still don't have a car. A woman will give her welfare check, believing that Holy Ghost is going to drop her some money on that table. What an idiot I was. So if I'm saying I was an idiot, guarantee you are too if you doing it.
I just can't believe it. I just can't believe we do this. And if we're supposed to change, like tomorrow, I expect to be better than I was today.
Yes.
I mean, my mother taught me that.
Every day, once you come out of the ritual, every day I saw something different in me. Every day. And then not at first, let me be honest, not at first I didn't, because it was painful. That's another thing. It's not going to be easy to come out. It's painful. I shed a lot of tears on coming out. Now, I'll never forget the first time. This is when I was living in a Hebrew Israelite camp. I ain't gonna talk about them right now because we'll go there another day.
Oh my God.
I was we was having one of our Hebrew Israelite rituals. And like I told you, by then I had gone to the universe to talk some things out. And I was like, I asked the universe, I said, I'm really looking forward to, because I was still into ritual words too. It take time to come out. I'm really looking forward to being saved. Blah, 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 blah. And it just dawned on me when I was talking. Jesus ain't real. I was like, huh? What? What are you saying? Jesus ain't real. Jesus ain't real. Jesus ain't real. And my body, see, that's how strong this is. My body began to break down mentally for me. It was like, oh, you can't say that to me. You can't say that to me. And I cried for 2 weeks when I found out that Jesus wasn't real. And I know that sounds stupid, but let me tell you why. And I went to the universe and I cried because that's where I started going. Why is it that I can't do without Jesus? Because who's gonna save me? And that's when it dawned on me. Well, wait a minute. Why do I think I need saving? And why do I think somebody else needs to do it? That's what the universe told me. See, that's the process of coming out. That's the process. It's a process. And some people may do it faster than me. I trust that they do. I'm just giving you my story.
How long were you in the church for?
Well, I was born and raised in the church in 1951, which actually didn't serve Jesus at all. And we did rituals and stuff like that, which shows you how close we were even back then to the universe. They were very different than this church ritual now. Then eventually I got into other religions because I knew there was something better. So I was basically, I would say I didn't start coming out till like around 19. I was called in 1989, but I didn't start actually coming out until around 1996.
Well, when you say the church was more closer to the universe as opposed to now, what do you mean? Or can you give an example?
I don't think it was so much closer to the universe, except that they were still, it was a gradual shift from rituals that were authentic. And because we called it a holy roller church back then. You was a holy roller because your rituals were pretty much the same as what our ancestors did. The dancing and the singing and the food and the circle and and you didn't necessarily pray. That also was something that wasn't in there. But it was a church nevertheless, because it was a circle, and that's what we live in. It's a circle. And they always talked about I can't think of this preacher's name from Mississippi, but when they began to implement God, the preacher came from Mississippi to our church and told them, what are you doing? There is no God. There is no Jesus. Now, I remember I was a child back then, so I didn't understand what all the fuss between them was about. But moving from the south to the north, our people began to get into their rituals rather than our own rituals, and I saw that process happening. I saw it happening until it went from God, and then it went for the Bible. He came back and told him, you don't even need this Bible, and he threw it on the ground. They never let him come back to church again. They never let the man who put the thing together back again. And they got further and further into Jesus saves. It didn't start out like that.
Well, listen, we coming up on the end, but I want to ask you one question before we get out of here. This indigenous people finding out their heritage and stuff, it's like it's being turned more into a commodity. And it's making the different people who's finding out, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. And it's like we're getting into these arguments and fighting each other when the rest of the world is beating the shit out of us.
Yeah.
How does this end? How does this end? Because it's making me sick. Yeah, really, y'all?
Yeah.
We're fighting each other while the rest of the world is killing you. Are we this dumb? I mean, really? Because it's really, I mean, what are you saying?
We don't understand history and our encounters with our enemies and how we got here, for example. And I call people out by name, like it or not. One of the things that we are so inundated with it is money, which is one of their rituals to keep us tied to them. So we have people who know who we are. They're not us, but they play into those rituals so that they can get what they want out of it. And Chief Colorado is prime example. He's constantly telling you, sign this paper and you can get a document saying you're Indian, you know. And they stop you. They have to respect that you are the first person. But let me tell you something. You can show them a picture of Jesus fucking Christ and they still will shoot your ass. There ain't a document in the world that ain't going to bring you out that ritual. Only you can do it.
That's funny.
So here's the thing. Now he got this card that says, when I go like a boss. Y'all need to get this card. It's a credit card of some sort. You know who's going to benefit from y'all getting that credit card? Him. Really? That's why I say, look how stupid we are. We don't even realize. See, we want to walk around. We want to be visual. I got the card. Nigga, but he got the money. It's that simple. I think I digress. What was your question? I'm sorry.
No, I mean, you just hit it. And I'm seeing. Okay, so we call ourselves black. We call ourselves things. Only thing could be used as commodity. It's bought and sold. So that's what I'm saying. You just connecting the dots for me. That's all. How are we?
It's us.
I mean, listen. It's when I started out with African Americans Ain't Africans, about 12 years ago, you know, there were people, you know, like Chief Warhorse, and there were other people who were saying it, but they wasn't being heard because it wasn't cool. And I was on the internet and I had a platform. Hey, I can make this, and more people who wanted to get into it could, and you know, let people know. And it has been an awakening. But instead of us saying, okay, dang, this is us, we got to start, okay, if we're here in Alabama, we're going to start supplying watermelon to our people. If we're here in Virginia, we're going to be the cotton industry or the tobacco or whatever industry. We have to start taking care of ourselves. And these monkeys, all they want to do is fuss and fight.
Yeah, that's because we've entered into a construct of religion. The universities, everything they hand us is a construct of religion. And I was writing a children's a textbook for our kids, but I kind of got drifted away from it. I'm gonna finish it. And in that textbook, it says our kids are taught theory and practice, not truth. So in other words, this is what they say. This is what's going on. Our children think that. What's that theory that they give? Not creation. What's the other one? Come on, Carrie, help me with the word.
They got so many theories.
Yes, they do. That's the point.
Yeah.
Everything is a theory. Their science is a theory. Everything is a theory. So we're operating on stuff that we don't even know if it's real. This is what they do. Evolution. That's the word I'm looking for. Our children are walking around and their professors are walking around teaching evolution as if it really happened. And I had a guy telling me that, well, but it's real and it's true. And I said, go look up the definition of a theory. And he came back and said, it's that simple. Yeah, it ain't been proven yet. They're giving you a bunch of stuff that ain't even been proven yet.
And that's what I'm saying. We make it real. So they'll give us a theory and we'll make, and with those rituals, we make it real.
Right. Because a theory is something that it's all practice. That's what ritual is. It's practice. It's doing it over and over again. A theory is something. And then when we expect, see, you talk about why we're doing this. Then when we expect our children to know better, like you said, they don't. You know why? Because everything is a theory. They are actually operating on a theory as if it's a truth and a fact. And it can't work for them because it ain't even real.
And then you'll get what we have today.
Yep. That's right.
So Deborah, what's up? We gonna make this a weekly thing or what? Now that I got you held up and everybody looking. So when you have something to do next week, I got people saying, "Oh man, she said she was gonna come," but I really appreciate
it. Let me apologize to your audience about last week. May I?
Of course. I mean, you don't have to.
And I hate the word apology because that's another word, but our language is so deep into the crap. So let me explain what I became ill. It is not his fault. So I don't want them to think, oh, she said she's gonna come and then she don't. But I'm not sure I can come every week.
You have to come back soon because the audience.
I'll come back soon.
The audience loves you. They get it. They get it.
Oh, that's so sweet. I hope so. I'm really trusting that they do. That's another word I hate is hope. See, I'm still coming out of it too. That's what I'm telling my people. I'm still coming out of it too.
Well,
I'm trusting Nathan.
I want to say thank you and you're welcome anytime.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, listen, this has been another episode of African Americans Ain't Africans. Listen, y'all, we're just trying to get aside of these rituals that we're into. We got to start being better people. We do. And y'all know it. Check me out on Thursday night. At least I'm going to have this brother. He turned his daughter's big wheel into a helicopter. And I know y'all tripping. When you see this shit, you're going to be like, what? And this is what the brother says. He say, all of us should be doing it because we all know how. And this cat is coming from a Christian paradigm. But listen to what he have to say. It's very interesting. So I want to say thank you guys for joining us. Have a good week, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.